Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Excited to be back with you today. We are just about 7 days from Christmas. And if you're anything like me, there's still so much to do. But it's been a really good month. I feel like December, there's always bad news on the news. There's lots of things, but I feel like it's been a good month. I feel like we're kind of ending the year on a good note. I'm seeing tons of gratitude being practiced across all of my Facebook and my feed. And I've been working on practicing gratitude. So anyways, I hope that December has been a pretty good month for you and having, the holiday spirit and Christmas to look forward to, despite things being different, that you're still able to, feel some good cheer and have a good month. So as we're looking at wrapping up the year and heading into 2021, I know that's so crazy to me to say. I feel like Christmas is coming and then all of a sudden I'm like, New Year's hits me in the face and I'm thinking, I wasn't ready for this. I needed like a month to prepare for my next new year and to, step out into all my newness. But we don't ever get that. We get about a week. And so I'm just trying to go with the flow and not have too high of expectations for anything changing, dramatically when the new year starts, and just kind of end the year on a good note and walk into the year with some optimism and good things. So planning some good content for next year. I'm excited for the podcast and to keep things going. Today, I thought I would do a little bit of just a casual update across the board. I used to blog a lot and I used to be on Instagram a lot and sharing just so many things about my family and my life, and then obviously even work. And so I thought I should bring a little bit of that back on the podcast. And so I'll probably be bringing more of this into the content coming in the future too. But I wanted to really just say, what's new? What's new with us? What's new with the Nickels? And give a little peek into our lives. And then, what's new at Nickel and Suede? So hopefully this will be fun and there'll be some good behind the scenes. I know if Soren were here, we'd be getting plenty of color on the behind the scenes, but you'll just have to do it with me instead. So anyways, let's see. What's new at our house? What's new with our family? If you're new to the podcast, we have 5 boys, ages 11 down to 2. We have 2 cats. We have 1 dog, and obviously we own a business. So there's always a lot going on. Okay, so what's new at our house? What's new recently with us? Let's see. So over the last week, but really months, Soren and I have had this debate on our bed. And we've had really small beds throughout our whole marriage. It's really funny. We started with this full-size bed that we got from my grandparents, and we slept on that for a long time. And we switched to a queen-size bed, which I don't know why. But we have been in this queen size bed for years. We're almost been married for 14 years. And we've been having a queen size bed. And part of the hesitation I had to getting a new one was that I loved our headboard so much. It was this really cool vintage boho headboard. And I'm like, I don't care. I just love this headboard so much. I'll never find another one like it. I'm just going to keep living with the queen bed. And Soren, I don't know if your husband's like mine, but I feel like husbands are fine with sleeping close in bed, and wives, and typically me, I'm like, don't touch me. Like, I cannot sleep if someone's touching me. Well, we also have 2 little kids right now that constantly are climbing in our bed. It's like their new habit. Rush is 2. He climbs into my bed in the morning. Then Baker will come later. And so I'm literally like pancaked in between 3 people in this queen size bed. And so finally I was like, I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. And so we finally upgraded to a king size bed this week. So I texted my mom a picture and she's like, congratulations, you're now a grown up. You have a king size bed. And, anyways, it's been something to get used to for sure. I mean, obviously we've slept in them in hotels and stuff, but it definitely feels like we're swimming. Like, oh my gosh, 6 people could fit in here. And true to form, my 2 kids still climb in bed with us every morning, but there is at least room to breathe and I'm not falling off the bed anymore. So anyways, that's kind of a funny update at our house. I really do love the new bed we got. I was able to find something similar. So I'll have to show a picture on social media. Let's see, we've also been doing, all of our Christmas shopping. And this year, we wanted to do something nice. And so I said, let's adopt a family. We adopted a family at work, which has been great. All the coworkers have been helping get gifts together for this family. But I thought this would be great to have my kids participate. Let's adopt a family ourselves. And so I gave, we did through the Salvation Army, and it was great, super easy. And they ask you to choose how many kids you want to adopt. And so I said, great, we've got 5 kids. We'll do a family with 5 kids. And that'll be the way that our kids can help. And then we got our list, and it was funny because there was only one little boy on the list, and the rest of them were kind of teenage girls. And so I was like, okay, so now I have 5 more people to shop for, and the boys will help with like the one little boy. So anyways, it was a really fun experience. It was still really great. It was good. And they still helped pick things out and take them over to the drop-off point. But it was definitely like, okay, I love doing nice things for people, but I am now shopping for 57 people instead of 52 or whatever. Anyways, I just feel like I've had a lot of people to shop for this year. So I don't know about you, but that definitely means lots of wrapping. So that is going to be my next 7 days, is just wrapping gifts somehow, probably in the middle of the night. Our kids with school and COVID and all those updates, in our district, we've had, I think, pretty low rates of COVID, and I feel like our school's been handling it really great. So I have a middle schooler, and he's been in 2 days in person, 3 days virtual all semester, and they're going to keep that up next semester. And then my elementary school kids have been in person, which has been really great for them. And the only change we're making after Christmas is they get out of school a little bit early, 1 day a week, for the teachers to have some planning period. So I'm so grateful for how that's been going. They get out this week for Christmas break, and it's just in time because the other new thing in our lives that makes us pretty crazy is we're getting a new puppy this weekend. So we got a dog last Christmas. I feel like we're kind of reliving the same Christmas this year, but we have loved having our Bernedoodle. He's huge. He's got a lot of energy, and I got him because I felt like the boys needed a dog and Soren needed a dog. And then this year, I just fell in love with French bulldogs. So I had a friend that had one, and it was so cute and so small. And I'm like, I need one of these, and I need it to be a girl. So I kind of have weaseled my way in with Soren and the family to say we need another dog, and it's going to be small, and it'll be a girl. Anyways, I have been like sort of not telling anybody because most people are like, that you're insane. You're like literally insane. But you know what? I've decided I don't care anymore. Like if I want another dog, then we're already at crazy levels with how many people I take and pets I take care of. So anyways, it'll be really good. The kids will be getting out of school, and they can help start the potty training and do the all the little dog care things. So I kind of have a little army of helpers, which is super great. And I'm really excited. So I will be definitely posting her on social media too. So, and then I just would say for me personally, I'm trying to finish out the year strong or medium going on my goals for 2020, which was to be consistent on small things. And so trying to just keep being consistent on my 7-minute workouts. And I got a book. I'm reading a book, and just being like really proud of those like small important things that I'm trying to do daily. So anyways, that's what's new at the Nickels. It's been a lot of fun at our house. It's about to get crazier, so I can't wait to share all that. Welcome to the podcast with Kilee Nickels. I made the unlikely transition from stay-at-home mom to CEO of a multi-million-dollar leading fashion brand. At Nickel & Suede, we empower the everyday woman to step into her story more boldly, one life-changing accessory at a time. The goal of this podcast is to inspire you through both my story and the stories of other powerhouse women to take that first step towards living the best version of your life. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, and get ready to get started with Kilee Nickels. What's new at Nickel & Suede? We have had quite the year at Nickel & Suede. Every business, every family, quite the year. I've had people asking me, so how are your stores doing? How were things with the election? So I thought I'd give a little recap there. We opened 2 new stores this year. So one in Dallas in June and one in Kansas City in September. And we, our store in Kansas City is right down where all of the, I guess, rioting is a recently new thing to Kansas City, but the rioting that has happened happens right down there by the store. And so when the elections were happening and taking place, it was definitely kind of a hold your breath moment as having a retail storefront down there. And so we did end up boarding up our store. We boarded it up when we saw all the rest of the stores boarding them up, and it stayed boarded up for two 2.5 days. And thank goodness nothing happened. But earlier in the year, there had been a lot of unrest and graffiti and things like that down in that area. So I think all the stores were a little bit on hyper alert. So we boarded it up. That was totally new. We were like Googling, how do you board up a store? Who do you hire to do these things? Do we need to keep a spare set of boards in the basement of all of our stores? I don't really know. It's a new thing for us. But we did it, and it went okay. And thankfully, foot traffic has been out again pretty much. I mean, if people say, how are things going? I'd say we're working twice as hard for about the same as last year. But like, super grateful we can do that. Super, super grateful that we can work twice as hard and still be providing for families. I mean, we have over 50 employees this year, and last year we only had 17. So we have a lot more people that we're trying to keep engaged and keep working and keep providing for. So we feel really grateful we've been able to do that, and we're just kind of hanging on, by our fingernails. So, I mean, people are out shopping. The stores are still seeing customers. We've been able to, I think, provide a really safe shopping experience. We have still more to come. This weekend, we're doing Santa visits at our stores, which I'm really excited about, to be able to provide a little bit of that Santa fun this year. That's been hard to find. So we have a vintage Jeep Grand Wagoneer that we're going to be decking out with tree and presents and things, and we're doing a toy drive at our Plaza store, and Santa will be there to take pictures with customers, and we'll do a discount with a toy drive. We're also being able to pull that off in Dallas, which is really fun. We found another vintage vehicle and a Santa, and we're doing a pet and a kids drive there. So I feel super proud of our team for just being able to be innovative and find these fun things that we can do to still engage people. I think that's so important right now. So it'll be really a good time, and can't wait to see the pictures that come out of it. And we're really just kind of marching forward into next year. We are making those plans for next year. We're trying to look at some collaborations with other brands. This year we were able to get a collaboration or a trial with Stitch Fix, which is really exciting. Stitch Fix is membership clothing boxes that go out to customers. And so this holiday season, we've got earrings going out in Stitch Fix packages, which is really cool. And depending on how the trial goes, then we'll see if we move forward. But that was a really fun, momentum way to end the year for us. We sent out over 150,000 pairs of earrings this year. And that's just a lot of earrings. And I think this spring we're approaching 1 million earrings. So we've just felt super grateful that we've still had a way to still send so many earrings out into the world that bring a little bit of joy to people. And let's see, anything else new at Nickel and Suede? Derek and I were just talking earlier today. Derek's my producer. And he was saying, you should tell everybody about Soren moving into your office. And that has been a funny change this year. I feel like Soren and I running the business together has had a lot of changes this year of figuring out our roles. And people always ask, how's it like to work together? And it's like impossible. It's really hard. And as the business gets bigger and decisions need to get made, it has just gotten even harder. So we've been navigating it. I feel like we've had a lot of grace from the team on how we've navigated it. Currently, Soren has about 3 offices, but it has been fun. He's always wanted to move into my office, so he now has a tiny desk in my office so he can escape everybody else and just come up here and work, and I just tell him what to do. So anyways, it's been kind of a funny, fortunate change. I don't know. He loves it. Kind of like we talked about the queen size bed thing. I'm kind of like, I still need my space, but it's been fun to be able to work together and make those decisions and have a lot more discussions together being in the same office. So kind of got the updates on the family, got the updates on Nickel and Suede. Today's episode, I really wanted to do something we did last year. And last year we talked about the 10 things we accomplished in 2019. And so I thought, I need to do that again for 2020. With the caveat that 2020 was a weird year. And I know there's all kinds of things going around with pressure about like, well, what did you accomplish this year despite the pandemic? And I don't want to have that feeling of like up and upping or feeling of like, look what we did, even though. But I do think it's still really important to look back and reflect and remind yourself of how far you've come, no matter what year it is, and that can be inspiring for others. It can also just help really create a sense of gratitude in yourself. So, I've been guilty of, and I've said it before, of just moving on to the next thing constantly and always feeling like it's never good enough. We haven't made enough progress yet. We're too slow. And even if any of that is true, we still have made a lot of progress and there's still so much to look back of and be proud of. So today I'm going to go through 10 things that we being Nickel and Suede, me, Soren, what did we accomplish this year in 2020? As I look back on this, I said, I am really proud of this. This is really awesome. I can't believe it's already only been a year that we did all of these things. So in January, we started our Facebook group for Nickel and Suede. It's called the NNS BFFs. And we created it to just really bring together our online community into one group and basically a room so that they could talk to each other, they could share their love of earrings and also of just encouraging and positivity and optimism and all those things. And I have seen that and more. It's been amazing. So we started in January. We're ending the year with almost 9,000 members. And it is the most positive, encouraging, uplifting place on the internet. And I've literally had those things said to me by the women in the group. There's just such a feeling of I can be vulnerable, I can share, people will help, they're kind. We have women talk about everything from, my son was just diagnosed with this and I don't know what to do, to I need to get dressed for an event and I'm not sure how to put this outfit together. And so there's just this awesome sense of camaraderie and helping each other that I'm so proud of and I love. And it's been really fun to really just get all the women who love Nickel and Suede together in a room. So really proud of that. That was our great first way to start the year. And honestly was such a lifesaver, I think, for me and so many women during quarantine and during COVID and all these hard things this year, to have this safe place to just have a little bit of happy and good things and a new group of friends. So that's been awesome. The second thing we did this year is we went to market. So at Nickel and Suede, we had dabbled a little bit in wholesale, but this was the first time we had gone and presented ourselves at market. So we went to Atlanta and Dallas several times, and it was such a learning experience. It was awesome. We met some really great people and picked up a lot of great new accounts and learned a little bit more about which direction we want to go with Nickel and Suede. But just putting together a booth, putting together all the material, putting together a program for wholesale was a huge accomplishment and really exciting. And it was fun for me to go to Atlanta and see what it's like and really just put ourselves on that stage. So the third thing I was going to say that applies to work too is we got a puppy. We got two puppies. So we got Samson, our Bernedoodle, and we really would like to be a work dog. And it's really fun when he comes to work. Everybody loves it. And then we're getting our Frenchie, and hopefully she'll be a work dog too. So that was just a fun extra for us at work. Number 4, we survived quarantine, and we kind of survived the shutdown, which was hard for everybody, but we made it through. We had to close our HQ store here in Liberty. We had not yet opened our Dallas store, sort of, thankfully. We didn't have a staff or anything yet, but we were still paying rent on that store because we weren't able to open it yet. So we had 2 stores that we had to keep floating while we couldn't be open. But we really, I feel like, shined and turned it on with the online and with being able to still figure out how to ship items. So that was a really tough couple of months. Would not want to do that again, ever. But I'm really proud of our team for how we made it through that. That leads to my next point, which is talking about store locations. We opened our Dallas location in June, which was a long time in the making. We worked really hard on that store. It was just as hard as we thought it would be to open a store outside of our own city in another state, to find a manager and to find staff and to really get it set up and going. It has been a labor of love. And then obviously just trying to take on a new market and new customers down there and figure all of that out. It's totally been a learning process, but I'm so glad that we stepped out of our comfort zone and we did it. And is it going perfectly? Is it just like, the busiest store in Dallas? No, it's not yet. But I'm so proud that we did it and that every week we're seeing improvements and it's really making us work hard. So that leads me to the next one, which was opening our second location in Kansas City. So opening our Plaza location was a really dream come true. I know I've talked about it on the podcast. We had a 2-hour line. We had our highest sales day in all of our retail history. And it was just such a exhilarating day to have people come out, be in person. Even though it had been such a weird pandemic year, everybody really showed up and supported. And it was just so exciting to have that happen. And it continues to do well. Another milestone marker for us was Soren and I took a getaway that was not work or kid related. And as business owners, that's really, really hard to do. So we've always taken trips and they were always like, okay, we'll go to New York, but we have all this business stuff to do, or we'll go here. And so grateful for all those trips, but we were able to get away to Aspen for just about 2.5 days. And it was so nice to just get away and have a little break. And I realize that my team thinks I'm a little bit of a workaholic. And so being able to prove them wrong and say, okay, I don't want to be a bad example. We need to take breaks. And we were able to do that. So we had a really good time. This year during 2020, we've also done a lot of hiring. And as our business has grown, as Nickels has changed over the years, as we've been kind of figuring out how to mature, we've had so many great people work here, and we've also had a lot of changes happen to where we needed to bring in different talent and things like that. And so this year has just been a year of bringing on really great people. So I'm really proud of we now have a director of retail. We have a director of product development. We have a little product development team. We have a marketing team with a marketing director. We hired for e-commerce, for social media, for email. We hired for operations. And so we have a lot of new faces around here, but I love the team that we have now and the talent that we have, and it just makes me so optimistic for next year. It was a huge learning experience for me to find and hire so many people, like gathering talent, interviewing, all those things. So I'm just really proud of how that has gelled together and excited for what that's going to bring. The next one I mentioned earlier was trialing with Stitch Fix, and that's been a huge wish list item to work with bigger brands, to collaborate. And so sending 5 styles to Stitch Fix for them to trial is really exciting. I visited Stitch Fix headquarters 5 years ago, right when Nickels was starting, and I remember just being in awe and so impressed with their offices and their shipping facility and all those things, and feeling like, I want to be like this someday. This is so inspiring. And so to be now like full circle working with them and sending our earrings out in their boxes has been a really cool moment. So excited to see where that takes us. And number 10, we've really expanded our product offerings this year as in earrings. We've launched 7 new styles this year, and 3 of them are our top selling styles right now, which is just really cool to see us coming out with new things and having those be so well received. So I'm really excited for what we're going to be launching next year. We're going to continue to add new styles, but also new variety in our offerings. So it's just been fun to mature the company and work on that. So anyways, that is our top 10. I think opening 2 stores during a pandemic are probably my top proudest moments. Keeping them open is going to be my 2021 top proudest moments, because retail is so crazy right now. It's so we're up for the challenge. We are up for the challenge, but it is definitely a new frontier in figuring out how to be a business and how to sell and all those things. So anyways, I am super grateful for all these things that we want to accomplish this year. I'm really excited to make my list for next year. And I hope that I can challenge you to make your own list this week. I'd say that's my call. It is to make a list of the things you accomplished this year. And it doesn't have to be opening stores. It could be that you figured out how to homeschool, or you figured out a new system for something, or you started learning a new talent or skill, and figuring things out, starting new things, like those are all huge accomplishments. Getting consistent with little things, huge accomplishment. So remember, I always say small things are the big things. So I hope your list is full of 10 small, awesome things. Anyways, I was excited to hear what you have to say, what your list looks like. Would love to hear in the comments on YouTube or Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening today to With Kilee Nickels. I hope that today you felt empowered to take one more step towards living the best version of you. Tune in next week for another episode, and in the meantime, you can find us elsewhere on the internet. You can find me on Instagram at Kilee Nickels and at Nickel and Suede. You can also find us at nickelandsuede.com. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.